Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome, because we're here at IPW22, which is here in Visit Orlando in Florida, and I am very, very lucky to have the top girl from Visit Florida directly opposite me, Dana. Welcome, Dana.
Thank you, Graham. It's great to see you here in sunny Florida.
Yes, I've been a couple of times this year, actually, as you probably know, so I feel as if I'm getting to know the place at last.
Good. Playing a little golf.
I did play a little bit of golf here at Disney, yeah. I lost a few balls. It's a tough golf course, but yeah,
good.
Very, very good. And I played a little bit up in Pensacola as well, where I performed a little better. But yeah, so how are things?
Things are great, but I have an idea.
Go on then, tell me.
Well, you have interviewed me many, many times.
Yeah.
And I think that your viewers might be interested in us turning the table. So what if I interview you this time? Since you're an old hat in Florida, how about we give it a go?
Yeah, why not? Let's give it a go then. Yeah, I'm game for it.
All right. I'll put on my journalist face here.
Yes, please do.
So Graham, you are one of the visitors from the UK that came at the very beginning of this year, and I was wondering if you could give me a little taste of your experiences and how that went for you.
It was really very good. Apart from the temperature, it was quite cold in February. I'm glad I packed a puffer jacket, but it was really good. And the things that I really got from it, I suppose, was I think things have changed since the pandemic. That was my overall conclusion, that things have changed, and I think they've changed for the better.
Okay, how so? How do you think things have changed?
Well, in virtually every place I went to, and they weren't all big cities, although I did visit Tampa, here in Orlando, and Miami, there was a much greater sense of civic pride. There was a sense of community. Basically, people are proud of what they've got, and I think that there's probably a better appreciation of what they got, and they want to protect it. And I think everywhere I went, that was evident. And I suppose the other thing that was evident for me was that people were prepared to voice that as well. They were prepared to say what they thought about life, and that they liked it and they wanted to protect it. And I think that was a good thing.
Awesome. Well, a little birdie told me that was a trip of several firsts for you.
Indeed,
I know today
at
IPW you had a first, which was meeting the Michelin Man.
I did. I met the Michelin Man today, yeah.
But outside of the Michelin Man, tell us about some of the first-time things that you did here in Florida.
Well, as you said, I met the Michelin Man. I thought I was looking in the mirror, but no, he wasn't dressed the same as me. But yeah, the first time for me was here in Orlando. I did some paddle boarding. It was a little bit shaky at the beginning, but it was really good. And the guy who ran it, Rich, just up here in Lake Ivanhoe, he's a really first-class dude. And then later in the trip, I had a first, which I probably didn't declare at first, but I saw 15, and I mean 15 ospreys in one go at St. Augustine when I went out on the water. That was fantastic. Lots of other firsts. But the other major one was windsurfing.
Oh.
And Sean up in Pensacola took me up there, and I really enjoyed windsurfing a lot more than I thought I would. It's totally exhausting, but I think that from my perspective, I'm a baby boomer, and I think baby boomers are like me. They want to have a go at things, and the windsurfing and the paddleboarding were examples of that. Absolutely.
Well, good for you for getting out there. There is a little trick to paddleboarding.
Tell me.
The bigger the board, the more stable it is. So go big early.
Yeah, I reckon that must have been a problem. Mine was narrow. It's a narrow board. I used to like Rich, but I don't now. He gave me a narrow board. Bad you, Rich.
Next time. Well, your viewers now, when they come to Florida, they'll know. Get the big board.
Get the wide board, yeah.
Get the wide board.
Yeah, good.
Well, I have just a couple more questions for you. I know you've been to Florida, and you've seen parts of Florida that other Brits probably have never seen.
Yeah.
So if a first-time traveler to Florida came to you and said, you've been there, what would you book? What's your number one suggestion for me in a first time, call it a 10-day trip? What would you recommend?
I think a 10-day trip, I think you would, if you could, and I know you can, is you do have to come and see the big cities. I mean, I think there are things that are absolutely unique to all of them. Miami and South Beach, and the influence of South America in that city, coming up to Orlando, and the fantastic, theme parks, of course. Some people like them, some people don't. But in Orlando, it's such a, it's a mature city now, and it's got lots of small sub-districts. And then Tampa, and the thing that fascinated my Tampa was the history of the cigars, the immigrants from Cuba and from Italy, and it was really fascinating. And outside of that, the least, I think, probably visited place in Florida for Brits is to go to the Panhandle. And I make no secret of the fact that the Panhandle is one of my favourite areas, and I think it combines almost everything. You can be very active, you can have lots of beach experiences, but you'd also experience small town America and independent hotels and independent restaurants. And if you go far enough, you can enjoy boiled peanuts.
Oh, I love a good boiled peanut.
But I've been coming to America for almost 50 years and I've never even experienced a boiled peanut until this time. And I was actually in a place called Tallahassee, and this woman came up to me at a restaurant and said, "Do you want some peanuts, boiled peanuts?" I said, "Yeah, okay." They were nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She didn't stay long. She went away very quickly, but yeah.
They're delicious.
Yeah.
And you know, when I've talked to people, when I've been in the UK, they seem to be less wedded to the idea of a direct flight. Like they're willing to connect and fly, you know, catch another flight. So that opens up the Panhandle to British visitors. You know, fly into Atlanta and catch a short connection to Pensacola or Panama City or Fort Walton. Makes it's not that hard.
No, and I think the investment's worth it. I mean, the return on investment for doing those things is definitely worth it, because it's, as I said, and sometimes it's nice to go places where there's not millions of other Brits, quite frankly. You know, you're going to go somewhere that it's slightly unique, and so you go down the pub on a Sunday after your visit and say, "Where did you go?" "I went to Pensacola." "Oh, I've never heard of it." And then you go and tell them about it, and that's basically what I do almost every Sunday when I talk about the places I've been to they haven't. Particularly here in Florida, in Pensacola and Panama City Beach and Destin and all up there. And indeed, I'm not sure it's not the Panhandle, but I think Tallahassee is a bit of an underestimated destination for visitors as well. And the place that I think it's called Wakulla Springs, this massive spring. I mean, that blew me away. That would be on my must-do list for anybody coming to Florida, is go to that place. It's
yes.
Fantastic.
So Tallahassee's my hometown.
Oh, there you go.
Born and raised there. And
you go.
Wakulla Springs is one of, I think, the largest first magnitude spring in the world. So it's beautiful and fantastic, and you're right, it's a place that shouldn't be missed.
But if you're in any way interested in wildlife, the bird life I saw, and the atmosphere and the mist coming off the river because of the warm water. It was cold outside, as I mentioned, it was bloody cold. It was great. It was fantastic.
Well, you know,
place.
there's many unique things about Wakulla Springs, but there is a tower there that is adjacent to the spring, and you climb up. There's 3 levels, and you can jump off. You can dive off the very top. You can't do that many places these days. So that's a unique opportunity.
I did see it, but I didn't have any trunks with me, so that's the only reason I didn't do it. There was no other reason I would have done it otherwise.
Well, I have one more question for you.
Yeah.
You know, we've talked a lot about Florida cuisine today with the Michelin announcement.
Yeah.
And, you know, given all the places you've been in Florida, what are some of your favorite cuisines of Florida?
Well, I think you have to start looking at the influences from outside. Cuban food, fantastic. Italian food, fantastic. I really like, I was saying it half-heartedly, but little things like boiled peanuts.
Yeah.
They're really, really good, you know, don't get me wrong. But I think some of the best meals I've had are perhaps not in Michelin restaurants. They're in small diners, they're in places like mom and pop places. And if you go down the Florida Keys and you can stop off at these places, halfway down there's a place called Mrs. Mack's. They do fantastic key lime pie, but they also do fabulous lunch. They do an absolutely marvellous seafood chowder. So I think those are my favourites, the ones that you're unlike. I suppose it's the unexpected, you know, when you find something and you think, bloody hell, this is good, and you expect it to be normal, and it's actually outstanding. And I think as time goes on, you know, as I've been coming here for a number of years, that standard of food and that standard of cuisine, if you like, in various places has improved because it's gone to independents, artisans, people that are enthusiastic about their trade and about what they're producing, as opposed to, you know, I'm not saying they're all bad, but mass, you know, global brands and so on. These are unique to their area, unique to themselves, and they have great pride in what they produce. And I think that's the key to it. Whether you're a Michelin star restaurant or your Mrs. Mim's diner. You know, whatever it's going to be, it's that pride in what you produce.
Well, I heard a quote from Anthony Bourdain the other day that I think describes you perfectly. Be a traveler, not a tourist.
Yes.
Get out, see the local color, experience the unique things that make Florida great. And it's been a pleasure having you on today, Graham. I'm sorry to tell you that I'm taking over your program.
Very good.
Viewers, I'll be with you every Sunday now from going on, and we might get Graham back occasionally. Nice having you on today, Graham.
Thank you, Dana. It's good having you.